Hi, everyone. This is Deidre Harder with johndaccountingsolutions.com. Today, I am going to show you where to go find a report on Amazon Seller Central that's going to show you where your inventory is located in all the different warehouses that Amazon has across the United States. Now, the reason this is important or why you'd even want to know this information is when we've been talking about sales tax, and in order to determine what your liability is and whether or not you need to file and or register so that you can begin collecting and filing for sales tax, you've really got to know where your inventory is located, because there are over 19 different warehouses in the United States right now that Amazon has. Your inventory might be all in all of them, or they may just be in a few of them. It really depends on how much volume you have, how much inventory you have, and how long you've been in business. So if you'll pull this report, this is going to help you determine what states you need to be looking at. This is the first part of that. The second part is, once you've determined where your inventory is located in which states, then you have to go in and look at, well, how many sales do you make to that state? The reason this is important is because you have to establish materiality. For example, if you have inventory in California and yet your sales for the last 2 months have been, let's say, $30 last month and maybe $45 this month, your sales tax liability, the portion that you should have collected if you didn't and remitted, is very small. It's just a couple of dollars. That is not considered a material amount. It doesn't mean you shouldn't register for sales tax. It really depends on the approach you're taking. But we have more information on that in our sales tax training course program. Today, I just want to show you where the monthly inventory history report is and how you can utilize this to begin to establish and to see for yourself what your nexus and sales tax situation looks like. So in order to pull this report, you want to go to your monthly inventory history report. This is located when you log into Amazon Seller Central and go here to Reports and hover over it and come down to where it says Fulfillment. When you click on Fulfillment, it's going to bring up this sidebar. And the report that you want to click on is your monthly inventory history here. Now you have a choice to view online or to download. You want to go here to the download tab, because viewing it online is not going to allow you to organize it in any way, and you're going to need to organize this so that you can get your states together. I would suggest that the event month that you choose would be last month. You're just basically needing to take a snapshot of this so you can see what's going on, and then you request a download here. It will take a few minutes. It could take a few minutes. It could take more than a few minutes, depending on how large the file is. And it will say over here while it's processing, it'll say in process. When it is finished, you'll get this little message that this report's ready for download. Okay, so you can either click here or you can come back to this screen, or maybe you've still been here, and then you can click the download button. Now, once this downloads, it's going to give you a text document, which is pretty much useless. You can't do much with it. But what we're going to do is we're going to pull that into an Excel spreadsheet so that we can get the data in a readable format. So you can just put this on your desktop somewhere, or I like to make a separate folder so that I can find it, because it's just a bunch of numbers. So I'll just put it here, or you can put it, under Amazon reports, anything you want, so that we can find it when we pull it into Excel. So now we are going to come over to our Excel program. And by the way, if you don't have Excel, you can use any spreadsheet program. There's a good one at openoffice.org. It's a free it's a free suite of tools that works very similarly to Microsoft Office, and it's free. It's shareware, but it works really, really good. I used it for a long time when I first started my business, and I was bootstrapping, and I didn't want to spend a lot of money on tools and software. That's what I used for quite a while before I got Excel. All right, so once you're in your spreadsheet program, you're going to come over to File and Open. And depending on which version of Excel or what you're using, you're going to you can either click open or you somehow need to get to browse, because you've got to get back to your desktop so that you can go to that folder that you set up. And there's the document that we want. If you don't see this, this little drop down box, sometimes it'll say all Excel files. And if it does, you're not going to see that file you just downloaded. So just switch it to all files and then you'll see it. Click it and we open it. Now, it's going to import this and we need to get some graph lines in there. Usually the settings in this import wizard are pretty intuitive and they pretty much know what to do. Delimited, it should be what you're choosing because this is what's going to put it into columns for you. So as long as delimited is checked, then you're going to want to click the next button. And as you can see in the preview, it's putting in lines where we want them to go. So we're going to say finish. All right, so now you have a whole lot of information here, a lot of lines. The only thing we are concerned with is we know that this is, a month snapshot, okay, which is what this column is. They're giving us the FN SKU and the SKU, which is unimportant. Even the product itself is unimportant. The only columns that are important are this fulfillment center. That's it. I mean, that's it. And the quantity. Okay, we want to look at quantity. Okay, so those are the only two that we're really concerned with here. All right, so I'm going to just simply, so that we can see what we're looking at, I am going to take these columns that we don't really need to look at the moment, and I'm going to highlight them, right-click, and hide. That gets them out of our way. Same thing here. I'm going to select the whole column, right-click, and hide. We can always unhide them later. I like to hide things rather than delete them. So if I change my mind, I can simply go back here and select the column before and after what I've hidden. And then I can unhide them. So see there, you got a little lesson in Excel if you didn't know that. Okay, so what we want to do now is we want to sort this. We want to see how many units of things we have in which warehouses. So in order to sort all of this, I'm going to click this top left corner to select everything. And I'm going to Data. And I'm going to Sort. And I am going to sort first by quantity, which is column F, this ending quantity, because if the quantity is 0, then right now that warehouse doesn't count. We are not going back. You may have read or heard to go all the way back, like to the beginning of time, and see where your stuff was. This is just my personal opinion. Now, I am an accountant and I practiced in public accounting for over 20 years. So I do have a lot of experience with sales tax and taxes in general. My opinion is that if you're doing this as of today and you're going to start to get registered and compliant today, then that's all we only really need to look back 30 days. We don't need to go back to the beginning of time. Okay, because we're drawing a line in the sand and saying, okay, as of right now, let's move forward. And so that's why I'm suggesting 30 days. So let's sort by ending quantity. And then you can do a secondary search. Once we get our quantities in order, we also want to sort by fulfillment center. We'll do that in a second step. So first, let's just get our quantities down. Okay, it's putting the zeros first because I didn't tell it to go in backwards order, in other words. So let me redo that sort again. And it says, see, it says smallest to largest. We're going to change that largest to smallest. And then we can see how many units we have in which warehouses. All right, so if we scroll down here, we're just going to go all down, down, down till we get to all of our zeros. Once you get to your zeros, okay, you don't need any of those zeros. So I'm going to select everything all the way down, which is like a whole lot. And I'm just going to right click and delete. And that gets them out of our way. Okay, so now we only have 700 lines to look at as opposed to 1,000. Okay, so now we're going to take all this information. We are down to only what units we have in inventory, how many and where. So now we're going to sort this a second time. This is another reason I deleted the zeros, because if you don't delete them, they're gonna kind of mess up your second sort. Okay, so we're going to select everything again, and this time I'm sorting by fulfillment center, which is column G. Fulfillment center, and this time it can go Z to A to Z. I think we'll go with A to Z. That's usually easier. Our brain sort of works that way. Okay, so now you can see how many units of things you have in which warehouses. Now, these warehouses, of course, you know, ABE doesn't tell you anything. You may or may not have recognized or remembered what this was if you've never shipped there. But what you can do is you can look up, we have a separate spreadsheet under our free resources at johndeaccounting.com. That's www.jandeaccoun. You know what? I'm just going to type it here. That'll be easier. Okay, so if you go to johndeaccountingsolutions.com, we have a free resources section, and in that free resource, and that's where you may have picked up this this video there, or you may have picked it up somewhere else. But anyway, go to free resources and then look for the Amazon warehouse codes spreadsheet, because that's gonna give you all of the different warehouses and what their codes are, so that you don't have, you can go look these up. These are basically, they use the same codes as airports use around the country, but rather than going through a very long and lengthy list of every airport in America, we've kind of given you guys a shortcut. So you can just go in here and see, you know, where's A, where's B and A. And these on our Amazon warehouse codes spreadsheet, it also indicates if that's a nexus state or not, or a potential nexus state, meaning that indicators, you know, with sales tax, nothing's ever black and white, right or wrong. At least not some of it is, some of it isn't. Sometimes it's open for interpretation and opinion, but basically from our best judgment, what we can tell are the states where Amazon has a warehouse that indicate, from our experience, that they are a nexus state, meaning they consider you to have nexus if you have inventory there. Okay, so this is just a shortcut, and I wanted to show you guys where to look this up so that you could begin the process of determining what your nexus is. You know, for more information about this, we have a free webinar that we're doing here in the month of March and April, and a replay will be up and available for you guys. We're going to leave that webinar up on our website, even though you may be listening to this in May. We're going to leave that up so that you can listen to the free information that we're giving you on helping you with your sales tax nexus. You can also, on johndeaccountingsolutions.com, you can click on our sales tax state by state program and check out what we have for you. It's basically a course where we walk you through it personally, helping you to figure all this stuff out and get yourself compliant in a way that's a lot easier than what's been available up until now. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact us at our Contact Us button on our website. And I hope this has been a helpful tutorial for you.